All right, in this video, I'm going to walk you through the step-by-step process to create the tool path for this Tormach logo cut into a 1/4 inch thick aluminum. So the first step that we want to do is set up our stock. So we're going to go over to our left side here, select stock setup. I'm going to put in a stock size 4x4, and it's a 1/4 inch thick, so 0.25. Sometimes it shows the center of your stock as your origin. We want the bottom left as our origin for this particular one. And if it's not already checked, you want to make sure that you're displaying your stock. Okay, once you have all those settings, you say OK to that. You'll see that the stock pops into the drawing and shows us how our part is centered on our stock. All right. Next step is to create our first tool path, which is an engraving tool path. So we're going to go up to our tool path tab. I'm going to select my down arrow here, which shows me all of my different toolpath options, and I'm going to select engrave. All right, for our first engraving operation, we're going to engrave this main part down here. That's going to be engraved 15 thousandths deep, and the Tormach lettering is going to be raised, and the this square with the rounded corners is also going to be raised, and the T for Tormach is going to be engraved in. So I'm going to do this in 2 separate operations. I don't need to, but I'm going to just to get you a little practice with doing that. So I'm going to go through here and select my geometry. It doesn't matter which way your arrows go for engraving tool paths. You just want to make sure that you select all of your geometry. So don't forget the inside of your O or your R, or the inside of this A. Okay, you want to make sure you select that box as well. I'm going to say OK to that. We're going to go through our 3 tabs here. So we have our toolpath parameters, our engrave parameters, and our roughing and finishing parameters. Okay, the tool I'm going to select is my 1/4 inch engraving tool, so tool number 4. Okay, I'm going to leave the current settings that are already set up in here. So we want a feed rate of 15 and a spindle speed of 4,500, plunge rate of 3. So those should all match. Going on to the next set of parameters and my engraving parameters. I do want to adjust my retract and my feed plane just because there's a lot of retracting and feeding with all the different steps. And so we want to get those closer to keep the time down on this tool path. So I'm going to adjust my retract plane to 0.1 or 100 thousandths and my feed plane to 50 thousandths. Make sure that all of your options here are absolute. And that's the only thing you should have to adjust there. And then my roughing, finishing parameters, I want to make sure that I do pick parallel spiral if it's not already picked. I want to make sure that the cut geometry is showing at the top of the part, so make sure that's checked. And our interior corners is also checked. That'll give us almost a square inside corner there as much as possible. We have our engraving tool has a 10 thousandths tip on it, so we want an 80% step over. So each step over is 80 thousandths. So I'm going to say OK to that, and it shows our first tool path. Okay, I want to do the same thing again. I'm going to create another tool path, so I can just hit the engrave. This time I'm just going to select the T. Again, I could have done that in one operation, but it's good practice to go through it several times. So all I'm going to do is select my 2 pieces of geometry, my 2 closed contours for the T. I'm going to say OK to that. Same process, 1/4 inch engraving tool, same feed rates, all the same standards apply there. I'm going to go back and you don't have to adjust them this time because you adjusted them before, so the retract and the feed plane are all the same. Top of stock 0. I'm going 15 thousandths deep, all absolute. Roughing and finishing, again, parallel spiral. And I'm going on top of the part, same step over. The only thing we could add here is in the comments, add a T engrave there. Say OK to that. I did not add any notes in my first engraved toolpath, so we could say Tormach engrave on that one. Say OK to that. As soon as you change something, it gives you an X across it, which means it's a dirty operation. You have to regenerate all dirty operations before you post it. So you want to select the regenerate all dirty operations. You'll see it went away, and it pops our toolpath back in there. Okay, so we can toggle between our two toolpaths to see what is being engraved with each operation. Okay, the next operation that we want to do is we want to cut this part out. So the outside contour, we're going to cut that first, and we're going to leave a couple of tabs so it doesn't fall free of our stock, because we have one final operation, which is a 2D chamfer around the outside of this. So I'm going to go to my toolpaths again. I'm going to select a contour. And the contour that I want to select is this outside edge. Okay, you want to pay attention to the arrow this time. So my arrow is going off to the right. So I want to make sure that I am cutting to the left of this line. Okay, because I want to cut on the outside. If I wanted to come on the inside, I would tell it to the right side. But because the arrow is going to the right, I want to cut to the left, cut on the outside. Okay, so I'm going to say OK to that. Pops up my 2D toolpath contour parameters. Okay, so I got my toolpath type. My tool is going to be tool number 3, which is a 1/4-inch flat end mill. Okay, similar feed rate, 15, and spindle speed is a little bit faster at 4,000, plunge rate of 3. We are going to plunge straight in with this. It is a center cutting tool, so we don't need to bother about ramping because it does a nice job plunging in. Back to my cut parameters. I want to make sure this says left. You can change it to say right, or you can change it and turn off your compensation, and you can cut on the line. Okay, but I'm going to cut to the left. Okay, all these other settings can stay at 0. My depth cut is how deep the tool is going to cut with each pass. So my stock is 1/4 inch, and my breakthrough is going to be 20 thousandths. Okay, so 0.020, which means that my stock being 0.25 plus 0.02 for my breakthrough, that gives me 0.27 or 270 thousandths for my full cut depth. I don't want to take that in one pass. My rule of thumb is typically half the diameter of the tool. I'm using a 1/4-inch tool. So I'm going to cheat a little bit, and I'm just going to have the Mastercam do the math for me and hit divide by 2. And that tells me that my cut depth is 0.135, which is just 10 thousandths more than half the diameter of my tool, which is fine. I'm going to remove my finish cut to make that my finishing step at 0. Okay. All right. Next operation is my breakthrough. Okay, I'm gonna plunge like I said, so no lead in, lead out. I'm gonna break through 20 thousandths of an inch, 0.02, and I'm going to create some tabs so the part doesn't come free. So you're going to select tabs here. I'm going to manually place those tabs, and I'm going to do a fairly large tab, but I am doing another operation after it cuts the tab, so I want to make sure that I have it's pretty rigid. I'm going to do a 0.75 width tab, and I'm going to do those at 80 thousandths thick. Cut those off and grind them down later, but again, a substantial tab because I have a second operation coming in after this part is cut. And now what I need to do is I need to position my tabs. So I'm telling it here vertical moves. I don't need to ramp because I have a center cutting tool. I'm going to position my tabs just by clicking, and you can see the yellow lines moving. This tab is nearly the width of the straight. You really want to avoid getting your tabs on curved edges because then they're a little bit harder to grind and clean off. So I'm going to click there, click on this line, and click there. And then when I am done placing my tabs, I'm going to hit the enter button to get my parameters to pop back up. And my final operation is to go to my linking parameters and make sure that everything's set to absolute. And I need to tell this what my final cut depth is. Make sure it's a negative number, negative 0.25. Top of stock is 0. And clearance plane at 2, so that's 2 inches above the part. It will retract to 0.25 between each operation, and it will start in my feed rate at 200 thousandths above the part. All right, all that looks good. I'm going to say OK, and we can see the blue line there, which is the tool path. If I rotate this around, I can see the step up where it's going to leave the tab. That's important. We want to make sure that that tab is there. All right, so last and final toolpath for this part is another contour. So I'm going to go to contour again. This one's a little bit different. So we're going to select that same contour. I'm going to say OK to that. Okay, I'm going to use, for a tool this time, I'm going to use tool number 2, which is a 1/4 inch ball end mill. Okay, we slow the feed rate down for this one. It is at, we just had to do the math, so based on the cutter. So 0.641, that should be a default. It should be in there already for you at 4,000 RPM. And then we're going to go to our cut parameters. So instead of being a regular 2D contour, we're changing this to be a 2D chamfer. And here is where we're going to set our distance in off the edge of the part and our depth. Okay, I'm going to do 80 thousandths for both of these, so 0.08, 0.08. All the rest of these, so this is going to be to the left again. Let me make sure, yeah, left again. Okay. We can turn off our depth cuts because we just told it how deep we're going. We can turn off our breakthrough. We can turn off our tabs. Our linking parameters also do not need to be adjusted because we told it how deep we're going. And so we're going to leave our depth here at 0, making sure, again, all of our options are absolute. Once you have that, say OK. All right, see your blue line going around. So we can toggle between our tool paths to see what each one is doing. Next step, we're going to verify this is what we're looking for, and that will be in part 2 of this video. Thanks for watching.